The woman in silver stared into the distance for a long time before withdrawing her gaze. Confusion deepened in her eyes as she vaguely remembered something, though the memory remained unclear. Guided by it, she raised her jade-like hand and waved, causing a faint ghostly light to flash and a restriction to appear at the cave entrance. If Wang Lin had been awake, he would have recognized it as the life and death restriction, a technique far more advanced than the one created by the old woman. Wang Lin regained consciousness several hours later. Seeing the restriction, he was startled and glanced at the woman in silver without asking questions before sitting down to cultivate. 3 days passed peacefully, as if all the cultivators in the seven-colored realm were recovering. However, Wang Lin's condition worsened, his complexion became even paler, and a faint seven-colored glow came from his right shoulder. The wound had healed, but the seven-colored nail remained embedded in his bone, constantly shattering it while his powerful ancient god vitality rapidly restored it. The endless cycle caused intense pain. More seriously, the nail seemed to have penetrated his origin soul, leaving it sluggish and weak, while continuously draining his vitality as if it would not stop until all his vitality was exhausted. Wang Lin wondered what kind of treasure could break the pseudo-nirvana void iron sword in half. He felt distressed because the sword had accompanied him for many years and had been extremely useful. He also recalled the strange beads Master Ashen Pine had thrown out, each capable of summoning a spell within the seven-colored world, including the heavenly fate finger. Remembering the All-Seer's battle soul appearing and looking toward the sky in confusion, Wang Lin concluded that this place must be connected to the All-Seer. He then considered his enemies. Master Ashen Pine's body had collapsed under the War Spirit print, leaving only his severely injured origin soul. He had also been wounded by the Iron Sword and consumed many treasures. Wang Lin believed that if he recovered quickly, Master Ashen Pine would certainly die when they met again. The old woman in green remained trapped inside the restriction. Although she was proficient in the life and death restriction, Wang Lin's annihilation restriction had been mixed into it, making escape difficult, and forcibly breaking out would seriously injure her. Master Cloud Soul had been randomly teleported elsewhere, and Wang Lin did not know where. Given the dangers of this place, he believed Master Cloud Soul might currently be unable to protect himself. Chen Tianjun had left earlier, and although they had sensed his spells dissipating, there was no proof that he was dead. Wang Lin understood that everyone was scheming against one another, unwilling to let anyone else leave with the treasure. Remaining passive would only result in being schemed against, which was why he had acted first, forcing Master Cloud Soul to teleport away, trapping the old woman, and creating the opportunity to fight Master Ashen Pine. When intense pain came from his right shoulder, Wang Lin made a decisive choice. He swept his left hand across it, reopening the wound until the seven-colored nail embedded in his bone was exposed. Seven-colored light immediately filled the cave. Xu Leguo thought Wang Lin was truly ruthless, both toward others and himself. Wang Lin grabbed the nail and pulled violently with a roar, but despite the tremendous pain, he could not remove it. It seemed to have completely merged with his bone, while the seven-colored light had entered the bone and turned his right shoulder bone seven-colored. His mind suddenly went blank and he briefly descended into uncontrollable madness, as if his mind had fallen through countless layers of hell and been sealed away, leaving him no longer himself. The nail had also shrunk by half. Wang Lin realized that if it disappeared completely, his bones would become entirely seven-colored and the madness would become permanent. The wound quickly healed and concealed the nail. Since external force had failed, he tried using his origin energy and ancient god power to force it out. After another 3 days, he could only suppress it. Wang Lin realized he needed assistance and believed that enough helpers might allow him to force out the seven-colored light and nail. He examined the jade bottle that had been Master Ashen Pine's ultimate objective in coming here. It was half filled with black liquid resembling blood but without the smell of blood. Wang Lin believed that obtaining Master Ashen Pine's origin soul would reveal its true nature and suspected it was related to increasing his cultivation. He put the bottle away, then looked at the life and death restriction and the woman in silver. When asked if she knew the restriction, she replied that she had some vague memories. Wang Lin ordered her to open it. She gently struck the entrance, and the restriction slowly disappeared. Wang Lin then placed Xu Leguo and the woman in silver into his storage space and left the cave. Enduring the pain in his shoulder, he headed toward the outer mountain range beyond the valley, where fierce fog beasts lived. These beasts were the helpers he had in mind. Following his original route, Wang Lin soon reached the tunnel leading outside and looked toward the dense fog covering the mountain peak. After reviewing his plan, he decided that the danger was worthwhile if it could force out the seven-colored nail. He transformed into a streak of light and charged toward the peak to test the strength of his ancient god body. Before he arrived, a roar came from the fog, and a gigantic 1,000-foot eagle rushed out and collided with him. Wang Lin did not dodge and deliberately allowed the entire impact to strike his right shoulder. The collision forced him backward and caused the seven-colored glow to intensify until it penetrated his skin, making his body appear covered in seven-colored light. The eagle was also knocked back but quickly attacked again. Wang Lin continued charging into the fog, where a second 1,000-foot eagle emerged. The two eagle beasts became black streaks of light and struck him simultaneously. Their impacts felt like countless mountains crashing into his body. Wang Lin became even paler and blood flowed from his mouth, but his eyes grew brighter. Both beasts were ranked 12, and their impacts were extremely powerful. Wang Lin deliberately transferred all their force into his right shoulder, accepting severe injuries to force out the seven-colored light. As the attacks continued, the seven-colored light covering half his body gradually gathered back toward his shoulder. Wang Lin treated the beasts as if they were helping him remove the nail. Despite his worsening injuries and bleeding, he continued toward the mountain peak. Since the root of his ancient god body remained unharmed, his body could rapidly recover, so he did not care about the injuries as long as the nail could be forced out. Eventually, all the seven-colored light condensed back into the nail, and under the continuous impacts, it began to loosen and showed signs of being pushed outward. At that moment, a third eagle emerged from the mountain peak and violently slammed into Wang Lin's chest. His injured body trembled and seemed ready to collapse, but his eyes were filled with joy. He laughed as his right shoulder burst open, blood spraying everywhere, with the seven-colored nail revealed within it. Wang Lin grabbed the seven-colored nail and used the impact to retreat rapidly. Falling to the bottom of the mountain, the three eagle beasts chased him like three streaks of black light. But when Wang Lin rushed into the tunnel, they did not follow. They circled outside with ferocious gazes before eventually returning to the mountaintop and turning back into fog. Wang Lin found a hidden place inside the tunnel, placed numerous restrictions around himself, swallowed pills, and began cultivating. Although his body was seriously injured, his ancient god body possessed astonishing recovery ability. After several hours, his injuries began healing. He continued circulating ancient god energy throughout his body while his origin energy rapidly flowed within him. Without the seven-colored nail obstructing his recovery, 2 more days of cultivation restored him to his peak. His injuries had almost completely healed. His origin soul was no longer weakened, and his origin energy had fully recovered. Even if Master Ashen Pine had not been injured, Wang Lin could fight him again. Wang Lin then left the tunnel and summoned the seven-colored nail into his palm. He still feared its power. His ancient god body had prevented the nail from instantly turning his bones into seven-colored light and had allowed him to endure severe injuries to use external force to expel it. Without an ancient god body, even a late-stage nirvana shatterer cultivator would have died from it. Wang Lin examined the nail and realized that it had broken his iron sword and pierced his body. If the iron sword had not blocked it somewhat, it could have penetrated his bones and transformed them into seven-colored light instantly. He left his divine sense mark on it and decided to make it a future trump card capable of killing even late-stage nirvana shatterer cultivators. Wang Lin then took out Pang Decay's ring and put it on his left thumb, valuing its excellent defensive power. He also examined the short sword that had been stabbed into the beast bone but could not break its seal, so he put it away. Finally, he took out Master Ashen Pine's small nascent soul. Though weak, it still roared ferociously. Wang Lin surrounded it with origin energy, swallowed it, and began refining it inside his origin soul. It seemed both like a nascent soul and a treasure. He intended to erase Ashen Pine's mark and make it his own so he could study it later. Although his battle with Ashen Pine had left both sides seriously injured and cost him the iron sword, Wang Lin had gained many treasures: the jade bottle containing black liquid, the seven-colored nail, the blood nascent soul, and the crystal sword. From the trident, he extracted the small crystal sword, whose aura showed it was a pseudo-nirvana void treasure. Though inferior to the iron sword, its power was still extraordinary. After organizing his treasures, Wang Lin realized that the seven-colored realm was likely a treasure trove. Most of Ashen Pine's treasures, especially the beads capable of summoning spells, had probably come from here. Since Ashen Pine could obtain treasures here, Wang Lin believed he could as well, and future battles would depend on who found stronger treasures and pills to increase their cultivation. His first target was Sima Mo's cave, whose location he learned from Pang Decay's memories. Pang Decay and the others had discovered the cave but only partially opened it. Intending to obtain the soul beasts inside, refine them into pills, raise their cultivation, and then completely open the cave, Wang Lin followed the memories through the enormous valley without triggering any restrictions. Most of the valley's restrictions had already collapsed, and its remaining caves were generally empty. After one day, he arrived at an ordinary-looking valley where he sensed a gloomy intent when he closed his eyes. According to Pang Decay's memories, this was Sima Mo's cave. Wang Lin approached and used his understanding of restrictions to form a seal. The valley trembled, and the illusion before him seemed to tear apart. The ordinary valley became purple. The weeds turned into black soil, and a black light appeared at the entrance. Wang Lin discovered 2 layers of restrictions. The first was an illusion that prevented anyone from truly reaching the cave and was the layer Pang Decay and the others had been trying to break. Wang Lin immediately saw through it and revealed the second layer and the cave's true appearance. The black light was a time restriction, similar to the one protecting the place where Ashen Pine had obtained the jade bottle. Wang Lin calculated that it was nearly 20,000 years old. Although weaker than the restriction around the jade bottle, it would still be difficult to break without sacrificing treasures. Then Wang Lin remembered the jade he had obtained on the wild continent, which had belonged to Sima Mo. Holding it, he slowly pushed it toward the black light. The light violently rippled before gathering toward the jade. With a bang, it dissipated around the jade and opened a passage. Wang Lin stepped through, after which the opening closed and the illusion restored the valley to its original appearance. Beyond the restriction was a small grassy valley about 1,000 feet wide. 9 caves were located in the surrounding mountains, each sealed by a rock. A skeleton sat in the meadow, leaning against the valley wall, its head lowered and its right forefinger pointing at the ground. 3 jades lay before it. Wang Lin's pupils shrank when he noticed that the skeleton's bones emitted a faint 7-colored glow. He approached, examined the skeleton, then picked up the first jade and entered it with his divine sense. The message recorded that Sima Mo had never expected to return to this place. In the past, according to his uncle master's request, he and many fellow disciples had discovered a mysterious spatial crack filled with beautiful 7-colored light. His junior sister had loved the 7-colored light, and he had promised to bring some back for her. They entered the crack and found themselves in a terrifying nightmare. At its deepest part, they discovered a terrifying existence whose secret could shock the entire cultivation world, including the cloud sea, all heaven, summoned river, and brilliant void. By then it was too late. They had destroyed their own hope and become sinners. Their teacher expelled them from the sect, and Sima Mo understood that he had no other choice. He left with his fellow disciples and became lost in the cloud sea's fog, which filled him with fear because of the secret they had discovered. He never expected the immeasurable calamity to return when they were already in despair. They escaped once, only to return here again. Sima Mo believed he might never leave this place and, believing in fate, ultimately surrendered himself to it. Wang Lin examined the jade with his divine sense and read Sima Mo's records. The first jade described Sima Mo's early years in the 7-colored world. After 3 years, his second and third brothers had died and become lost ones, wandering without recognizing him. In the 6th year, he found a jade containing the time restriction and began studying it. By the 11th year, he had grasped part of it, while his uncle master had entered the depths after hearing a mysterious voice. After more than 30 years, the enlightened ones attacked again, and Sima Mo saw his uncle master among them. 5th brother and 6th brother were taken away. Sima Mo eventually mastered the time restriction and, with the remaining sect members, established a huge restriction in a valley. 9th brother sacrificed his life to strengthen it and asked Sima Mo to return his remains to the heaven-breaking sect. The restriction protected the valley, but familiar faces gradually became strangers. Sima Mo refused to accept this and decided to find a way to save them. The second jade recorded that about 100 years had passed, though the absence of day and night made time difficult to measure. 13th brother destroyed his own body and died because he could no longer endure the existence there. Most of those around Sima Mo had become lost ones or enlightened ones, leaving only him, 16th brother, and 4th uncle. Sima Mo knew they were sinners and this might be their punishment. But he refused to surrender. More than 130 years after arriving, the Defying Ones appeared for the first time, and 4th uncle became a Defying One. Eventually, only Sima Mo and 16th brother remained. Sima Mo devised a way to save the others and left the valley. He brought back 2nd brother, 3rd brother, and the other sect members who had become lost ones. Then entered the depths and rescued 5th brother and 6th brother, who had become enlightened ones. He continued deeper and eventually brought back 2nd uncle. The 3rd Jade recorded that Sima Mo had stayed there for more than 300 years and explored nearly every accessible area. He found beads capable of sealing the spells of Defying Ones and collected several while searching for a way to save 4th uncle. On his 4th journey into the depths, he used the beads to seal the spells of the powerful Defying Ones who had confronted 4th uncle. After years of searching, he found 4th uncle, but his attempt failed. A strange 7-colored nail pierced his body and immediately melted inside him. Sima Mo escaped back to the valley, but his consciousness gradually weakened and an insane desire to kill every living creature appeared in his mind. Since 16th brother was the only other living being there, Sima Mo drove him away, gave him his identity token and beast bone, and told him to return after 10 years. He then remained alone, waiting for his final madness. Sima Mo recorded that if his fellow sect members awakened and found the jades, they would understand what had happened. He also wrote that the strange stone beads were not naturally formed but had been refined by someone using a special technique. Since they were identical in size, weight, and surface, as his consciousness blurred, he felt something pulling at his origin soul. His consciousness suddenly became clear, and he conceived a strange idea. Perhaps he could avoid madness by being reborn. His consciousness seemed to leave his body and extend into the starry sky, where he saw a middle-aged man in black robes with a round mark between his eyebrows. The man said his name was Sovereign. Wang Lin's expression changed drastically. From Qing Lin's cave, he already knew that outside the sealed realm existed a powerful being called the Sovereign, an ancient powerhouse from Qing Lin's era. He had never expected to find information about the Sovereign inside this valley in the 7-colored world. Wang Lin recalled Qing Shui's battle with the Moongazer serpent, when the collapsed void caused 2 mysterious outer realm cultivators to appear. Without the heaven-defying bead, they would have captured him. He also remembered the old man calling him the sovereign of the sealed realm after seeing the heaven-defying bead. Wang Lin realized that the 7-colored world was connected to both the All-Seer and the Sovereign. The 7-colored nails could cause madness and make people kill all living creatures, reminding him of Qing Shui's unexplained madness before the celestial realm collapsed and his later madness after entering the Cultivation Alliance. Wang Lin suspected that these events were connected to the Sovereign and silently considered the relationship between the All-Seer, Qing Shui, Sima Mo, and the Sovereign. Sima Mo's skeleton showed no signs of destruction, meaning he had not ultimately gone mad. Thus, the method related to the Sovereign seemed to have succeeded. Wang Lin realized that this place was likely the spatial crack discovered by the heaven-breaking sect in the past and the place connected to the beast bone pill recipe. He wondered how the beast bone and jades had left this place. Possibly because 16th brother had escaped and caused them to reappear in the Cloud Sea. He also wondered about the mysterious person who had led the heaven-breaking sect here and whom Sima Mo had encountered again centuries later. Wang Lin then approached the first of the 9 rock-sealed caves. He examined the seal, placed his hand on the rock, and infused it with origin energy. The rock rumbled aside, revealing a small cave filled with the smell of time and decay. Within the gray light floated 10 fist-sized beads, each containing a faint flashing rune and emitting a subtle gray glow. Wang Lin immediately recognized them as the beads Master Ashen Pine had used to summon the spells of the Defying Ones. Confirming that Sima Mo's records were true, he took one bead and examined it carefully with his divine sense. His expression changed greatly as his mind seemed to explode with thunder. Unlike before, when he had only briefly seen the beads during Master Ashen Pine's battle, he could now examine one closely. His conclusion was shocking. They were heaven-defying beads. Wang Lin's origin soul trembled as he stared at the bead in his hand. The heaven-defying bead had accompanied him almost his entire life. so he could not possibly mistake it. Its size, weight, and aura were exactly the same as the heaven-defying bead. The only difference was that this bead lacked the 5-element pattern and instead had only a faint, blurred pattern. The information in the jade explained that these strange stone beads were not naturally formed but had been refined by someone long ago. Their size, weight, and surfaces were identical, as if someone had used a special spell to create them. Wang Lin realized that they had been made in an attempt to imitate the heaven-defying bead. Whoever created them must have seen the heaven-defying bead or even possessed it. He wondered whether this person could be the sovereign, since attempting to refine the heaven-defying bead required tremendous courage. Wang Lin felt that he and the sovereign from the outer realm would likely cross paths soon. He also suspected that the people of the outer realm might already know of his existence, especially because the old man from the outer realm had survived. After pondering, Wang Lin collected all 10 beads. Each contained fluctuations of a spell, suggesting that they could seal spells despite being failed products. He left his mark on them and stored them away before leaving the first cave. Yet the cave had placed a heavy pressure on him, especially as he remembered Master Ashen Pine's previous battle with him. The spell Master Ashen Pine used to summon the 7th spirit of the realm was extremely similar to the spells of the outsiders. Looking at the 7-colored sky, Wang Lin remembered the 7-colored light that had appeared from the outer realm when he first encountered its people. The more he understood this place, the more mysterious it became. In the second cave, Wang Lin found a giant pill furnace occupying more than half the room, surrounded by countless dried herbs and storage bags. Although the cave had been abandoned for a very long time and was covered in dust, the storage bags still contained an unimaginable quantity of herbs. He then entered the third cave, whose entrance was protected by restrictions that were not time restrictions. After carefully studying them, Wang Lin broke through the restrictions and entered. A circular formation occupied the cave, powered by origin crystals along its edges, with 3 bottles floating inside and being nourished by the formation. Most of the origin crystals had already dried up, leaving barely enough energy to maintain it. Wang Lin detected a faint trace of a time restriction within the formation. More importantly, he understood its purpose. It preserved the pills at the moment they were completed, protecting them from the passage of time. If the formation were forcibly opened, the pills would immediately be destroyed. Wang Lin therefore carefully deduced a way to retrieve them. He crushed an origin crystal, controlled the released origin energy, formed a diamond-shaped formation on the ground, and connected it to the pill formation with a thin line. When he reached for the 3 bottles, the formation suddenly erupted with powerful light and a destructive aura that rushed toward the bottles. At that instant, the destructive power was guided through the thin line into the diamond formation, allowing Wang Lin to seize all 3 bottles and retreat safely. He realized that even the slightest mistake would have destroyed the bottles and the pills within, since these pills had been left behind by Sima Mo and his sect and preserved so carefully. Wang Lin believed they must be extremely valuable. The first bottle contained 3 red pills that released fierce beast soul fluctuations and attracted even Wang Lin's origin soul. He vaguely identified them as rank 11 pills. The second bottle released black and white fog, with 1 pill inside each cloud. Wang Lin recognized them as extremely rare fog soul pills refined from rank 12 fog beasts. Such pills were rare in the Cloud Sea because few cultivators were willing to sacrifice the long-term benefits of a captured fog beast to refine it into pills. When Wang Lin cautiously opened the third bottle, an unimaginable fluctuation erupted from the tiny opening, accompanied by a terrifying roar that could not be heard but could be clearly felt by the origin soul. Its power was far greater than a rank 12 beast and was earth-shattering. Wang Lin immediately resealed the bottle and, after recovering, identified the contents as a rank 13 pill. He carefully stored the second and third bottles while taking only the first back to the pill furnace cave. In the Cloud Sea, only cultivators at the mid-stage of Nirvana Shatterer could directly devour a rank 11 pill, because weaker origin souls could not withstand the fierce beast soul and would instead be devoured. Wang Lin's actual cultivation, excluding his ancient god body, was only early-stage Nirvana cleanser, so he could not consume the pill directly and needed to refine it again. He activated the giant furnace with fire from his left eye, placed the rank 11 pill inside, and used his right hand to intensify the flames and begin refining it. Two-time refining was a method every Cloud Sea cultivator had to learn, allowing a higher rank pill's power to be split and reduced. The quality of the pill furnace determined how much medicinal power would be lost. Meanwhile, deep within the seven-colored realm, far beyond Master Ashen Pine, a fog-covered area concealed an altar. Bright light suddenly erupted from the altar, pushing back the surrounding fog and revealing an empty space. A huge spatial crack appeared above it, with countless lightning bolts along its edges tearing it wider. 3 people then stepped out. Their clothing was clearly different from that of the Cloud Sea cultivators, and each had a strange mark between the eyebrows. The man leading them had a lightning mark, while the 2 youths behind him had a crescent moon mark and a flame mark respectively. The youth with the crescent moon mark looked around excitedly and asked whether this was the spatial crack they had discovered. Master Ashen Pine and the other 2 cultivators entered the seven-colored realm, and the seven-colored fog around him gradually closed around his origin soul. Strands of white lightning emerged from the statue and fused with his origin soul. His body recondensed until it became corporeal, while lightning flashed around him and a faint lightning mark appeared between his eyebrows. He opened his eyes with a gloomy gaze, declaring that he had been forced into this situation and would not be human if he did not take revenge. He transformed into lightning and charged toward the mountains. Master Ashen Pine believed that the cultivator surnamed Lu had been severely injured by his seven-colored nail and was likely dying. He summoned a bead from his storage space and, after spitting blood onto it, called, "Summon, Defying One." The bead absorbed seven-colored light and collapsed, releasing a powerful aura and a blurry figure whose eyes seemed capable of seeing through the heavens and exposing every secret. When Master Ashen Pine asked where Wang Lin was, the figure eventually looked at him, causing several images to appear in his mind. He realized Wang Lin was inside Sima Mo's cave and immediately charged there. In the valley, Wang Lin had not devoted all his attention to alchemy. He cleared and expanded the first cave, placed many restrictions inside, and released the mosquito beast. The Mosquito King, whose mind was connected to Wang Lin, understood his plan. Wang Lin pulled it into the restrictions and placed large numbers of beast souls. The mutated beast soul he had created in the Origin sect, and tens of thousands of origin crystals inside. He intended to use the 5 poison sects method of refining mutated beast souls to forcibly increase the mosquito beast's strength and allow it to transform into a stronger Mosquito King capable of controlling the huge number of mosquito beasts in the Wind Celestial realm. The purple mosquito beast fought and devoured the beast souls while the restrictions transformed the origin crystals into dense origin energy that entered its body. Wang Lin left a strand of divine sense to monitor it before returning to the pill furnace. After 2 days of refining, the flames disappeared and a pool of golden liquid emerged from the furnace. Wang Lin stored it in 3 small bottles. He took a small sip from the first bottle, and the liquid became a cool sensation that spread through his body, accompanied by the vague roar of a beast. He closed his eyes and began comprehending the beast's understanding of the heavens. He experienced its life and struggles for survival as if he had become the fierce beast himself. Through this experience, Wang Lin continued confirming his own true and false domain while organizing the various comprehensions. The space around him gradually distorted and became unreal. Wang Lin continued drinking the liquid and immersed himself in Tao, seeking an enlightenment. Although he could use the fierce beast's comprehensions to improve his cultivation, doing so would confuse his Tao heart because it meant borrowing another being's Tao. Instead, he sought the sliver of thought passing through the beast's mind while it comprehended the heavens, the essence of the fierce beast soul, which was necessary for a beast to break through and eventually transform into human form. After consuming the first bottle, the distortion spread throughout the valley. Countless Tao intents surrounded Wang Lin. He realized that without falsehood there could be no truth, and without truth there could be no falsehood, so there was no need to completely distinguish between them. He consumed the second bottle and continued confirming his Tao. The endless Tao intents spread beyond the valley, covering the 10.000-foot area and distorting even the sky. Though invisible to the naked eye, cultivators above the soul formation stage could sense them. They were formed by the laws of the heavens and seemed both real and false, making them extremely difficult to distinguish and escape once entered. Wang Lin consumed the third bottle and completely lost himself in searching for his Tao. A vague voice gradually became clear in his mind, enlightened. Prisoner of the Tao of heaven. All sentient beings must endure immeasurable calamities. It only takes a thought to leave the deep prison. All life must walk forever forward and solve the modern age. Escape the will of heaven and obtain the path to life. Seal the will of the heavens. Engrave the dark days. Await the path of cultivation. Another sentence echoed. No life knows the true Tao. The bitter abyss forever distorts the true Tao. More Tao intents spread outward, covering 100.000 feet, then 1.000.000 feet, and eventually a portion of the seven-colored realm. Master Ashen Pine stood 10.000 feet from Sima Mo's cave. His face pale and body motionless. He had arrived 2 days earlier but was unable to advance after sensing the chaotic Tao intents. They formed an enormous vortex capable of absorbing all domains and drawing them into Wang Lin's confirmation of his Tao. Wang Lin's true and false domain was the second evolution of his Tao, and its power had already suppressed cultivators at his level and even those above him. Master Ashen Pine sat down and stabilized his mind while resisting the chaotic Tao intents and the suction of the invisible vortex. He failed to notice the bald lost ones slowly approaching. Their casual steps seemed to involve spatial bending, and when they arrived, they stopped as if seeking Tao. Farther away, the enlightened ones emerged from the fog and flew toward Wang Lin's valley. Their murmurs gradually spreading. Everything centered on the valley as a Tao refinement that stirred the entire seven-colored realm unfolded. As Wang Lin discarded more chaotic Tao intents, the realm itself seemed to twist. The lost ones sought Tao with increasingly confused eyes as countless invisible Tao intents were absorbed into them. The enlightened ones arrived and floated in the air, their endless murmuring finally stopping as they closed their eyes and comprehended Wang Lin's Tao. Even the rank 12 fog beasts transformed into different fierce beasts, silently surrounded the valley, and floated in the air like the enlightened ones while comprehending Wang Lin's Tao. Wang Lin pondered the meaning of Tao. His domains of life and death, karma, and true and false were all Taos he had comprehended himself or transformations in his way of thinking. From an unknown cultivator to someone able to stand among the strongest. Every transformation represented his growth. Through the cycle of life, death, and reincarnation, Wang Lin saw through life and death. This allowed him to survive crises and find life within death, giving rise to a heaven-defying will. Splitting the stars, slicing the moon, and looking down upon the heavens became the path of a heaven-defying cultivator. Having seen through life and death, he had nothing left to fear. These thoughts were brought forth by his life and death domain. Wang Lin became stronger because he possessed this intent. Yet the heavens were ruthless and forced all living beings to obey them. At the same time, the intentions of all life created countless Taos for people to comprehend. This was the heavens' gift, giving living beings a reason to cultivate and allowing them to follow a smooth path. Wang Lin refused to walk this path. After life and death came karma. When his domain transformed, Wang Lin no longer cared about life and death but pursued the true meaning of the world. He saw through karmic causes and glimpsed karmic effects, realizing that everything possessed karma. After completing his pursuit of karma, his life reached a peak. His evolving mind strengthened his Tao heart, and repeated cycles of karma rooted it even deeper. The world appeared completely different to him. He realized that these heavens were not his heavens. Others saw heaven and earth as boundless and searched them blindly. But Wang Lin no longer cared about their boundaries. Heaven was karmic cause, earth was karmic effect, and the entire world was a cycle of karma. He wanted to escape this karmic furnace and discover what lay beyond the world. At this stage, Wang Lin's domain had reached its limit, and he had entered the circle he had drawn around Li Qingmei and Lu Yongkang. However, Qing Lin's appearance and Wang Lin's possession of the heaven-defying bead caused his completed karma domain to transform again. His domain evolved, allowing him to explore the origins of true and false. The true and false domain was an extremely profound comprehension that ordinary people were unqualified to grasp. It had reached the boundary of the heavenly Tao, only one step from its core. Throughout countless years, very few cultivators had reached this stage. Domain determined cultivation level, while its depth created enormous differences in power. Wang Lin pursued the grand Tao. Although his path seemed similar to others, his understanding of Tao allowed him to see a path far beyond their goals. Wang Lin consumed the liquid formed from 3 rank 11 pills. But his enlightenment continued. He opened his storage space, causing rank -8, rank 9, and rank 10 pills to fly out. He forgot the passage of time. While comprehending Tao, he picked up the pills one by one, but they collapsed whenever they approached his mouth. Countless Tao intents from the beast souls merged into the vortex and were continuously confirmed by Wang Lin. More chaotic Tao intents emerged and spread outward. The lost ones outside the valley gradually regained traces of clarity, while the ethereal bodies of the enlightened ones began becoming corporeal. The rank 12 fierce beasts no longer emitted fierce auras while seeking Tao. Master Ashen Pine struggled to protect his mind, seemingly close to being overwhelmed by the chaotic Tao intent. More Tao intent appeared throughout the valley, and the entire seven-colored realm seemed filled with the twisted Tao intents Wang Lin had abandoned. They collided with one another and spread even into the deepest regions. As Wang Lin continued his enlightenment, his mind gradually separated from his body. He saw the valley, himself sitting there, and the pills collapsing one after another. His mind spread outward from the valley. When it swept over the enlightened ones, their bodies trembled, as did the lost ones and fierce beasts. Master Ashen Pine's Tao heart suddenly collapsed, leaving his eyes filled with confusion. Wang Lin ignored them and continued spreading his mind. He saw a burly man sitting in a cave in the outer region. Panic filled the man's eyes, but he could not utter a word. Even after Wang Lin's mind passed, he remained stunned. Wang Lin's mind then circled the outer region, passing through the caves before reaching the wall-like mountain range. Along the way, he saw the restriction formed by the fusion of the life and death restriction and annihilation restriction. A pale-faced old woman in green sat there cultivating with closed eyes. Her Tao heart was chaotic and showed signs of splitting, while her appearance rapidly changed between old, ancient, and middle-aged. Wang Lin continued into the fog-covered mountain. The fog could not stop his mind, and he saw two mountains protected by restrictions. Even the time restriction could not obstruct him. The first mountain contained only a stone tablet. It had no writing but emitted an ancient aura. In Wang Lin's eyes, however, that aura gradually disappeared, and the tablet appeared like a treasure. On the second mountain, he saw a towering statue and a huge stone gate bearing a lightning mark. His mind passed through the gate and saw numerous seven-colored light orbs containing beast souls from rank 7 to rank 13. Inside the cave was a young girl resembling the old woman. Her face was pale and lifeless, but her body trembled. At the peak was a hidden space containing the tablet and a skeleton pinned against it by two seven-colored nails. Wang Lin's mind was suddenly drawn to the skeleton and the countless words carved upon it. Thunder seemed to explode in his mind, disturbing his previously calm consciousness. The words became engraved in his heart, exactly matching those that had echoed in his mind. Await the path of cultivation. Wang Lin's mind fluctuated for an unknown time before leaving in confusion. He continued deeper into the fog and, for the first time, entered the depths of the seven-colored realm. The fog was denser there but still could not stop him. He saw three youths in strange clothing. The lightning-marked youth said the place was mysterious and that he could sense the aura of an ancestor from his Flash Thunder clan. The youth with the flame mark said he could feel something calling him and that his ancestral mark seemed about to leave his body. The youth with the crescent moon mark cautiously looked around and suddenly changed expression. When Wang Lin's mind swept past them, the lightning mark flashed violently. The crescent moon youth trembled as he recalled something, while the flame-marked youth felt all his strength disappear. An indescribable fear overwhelmed him, and his flame mark burned as though it wanted to turn his body to ashes. Fortunately, the sensation lasted only an instant, and the pain disappeared when Wang Lin's mind passed. Afterward, the three youths exchanged shocked looks. The lightning-marked youth exclaimed at the strength of the mind. The flame-marked youth believed it must belong to an ancestor of his Fire Sparrow clan because his ancestral mark had reacted so strongly. And greed appeared in his eyes. Only the crescent moon youth remained silent. Fear filled his eyes as he remembered a nightmare he had refused to recall. He wondered if the person could be him, but immediately rejected the possibility. Unable to believe he could appear here, the flame-marked youth then said that although the person's mind was extremely powerful, the three of them still had a chance if they opened the seal. And he asked the other two to help him.